going on, everybody? All the Rage Gamer here, coming at you with a with another video. So this is an idea that I have for an ongoing series of videos. Any of you that have happened to see the YouTube channel Elden Ring News, you'll know that there's a guy, he calls himself Mordecai. He did a daily video every single day since the very first reveal trailer for Elden Ring. He did a daily video of news updates where essentially the video would just consist of him, saying out the date. And it's your daily Elden Ring update, and there was no news about Elden Ring today, and that was your daily Elden Ring update for whatever date it was. So I have a funny idea, I guess, kind of almost mimicking Mordecai from Elden Ring News a little bit. So story time. So let me preface this. If you saw my my video about the unboxing I did of the Elden Ring Collector's Edition, you would have heard me talk about GameStop a little bit. So to preface this whole thing, the GameStop that I actually pre-ordered the Collector's Edition from is in a shopping mall. And when I pre-ordered the Collector's Edition, it was back in November of I believe, yeah, November of last year. I think it was November 4th or November 5th that I did the pre-order. Anyway, that has been my kind of go-to GameStop for many, many years, is the one in this shopping mall. And this is also where I pre-ordered, originally, the standard edition for PlayStation 5. About a month ago, I tried to call into this GameStop store to inquire about my collector's edition purchase on their website, because I wanted to try to track it and get status updates on it, and I had lost the paperwork that they printed out for me that had the order number and stuff like that on it. So I wanted to call into the store to see if they could give me that information. So I called into the store, and I was greeted with a particular, so when you call GameStop, they have a little automated thing where it says, thanks for calling GameStop, blah, 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 blah. Please press 1 to speak to an associate. So you hit 1. Under normal circumstances, you would just be connected to the store and you would get a dial tone or a ringtone as the phone is ringing for an employee to pick up the phone. With this particular store, and this was a month ago, every time you call, you would just be greeted with a specific message. I will call them right now so you can hear said message.
Thank you for calling GameStop, where we have the best selection in new and pre-owned games, consoles, collectibles, and electronics. We are now offering more cash on more items than ever before, like smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and headphones.
This is the standard stuff for whatever store you call.
Press 1 now to speak to an associate, or check out our top deals at GameStop.com or with the GameStop app.
So press 1. This is what you hear every time.
Thank you for your patience. The store is currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please try your call again later.
And then it hangs up on you. Every single time you call this particular store, that is the message that you're given. Every time. And that was a month ago that I first heard that. So fast forward to a couple days before Elden Ring release day. I wanted to call into the store to see if they were doing any kind of early or midnight launch for the game. You'll probably, if you did watch the unboxing video for the Collector's Edition, I did make mention of the fact that we had a snowstorm here recently. So I wanted to call in to see if they were doing any kind of early launch, because the snowstorm was supposed to start after midnight on Friday, around 2 a.m. and just go all day. So ideally, I kind of wanted to try to see if I could beat the snowstorm and not have to drive to the shopping mall in a snowstorm to go pick up my copy of Elden Ring. So I called the GameStop store. Again, this was a couple of days before release date, so not too long ago. Greeted with the same exact message on the phone. The store is experiencing technical difficulties, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, that was the same message that I heard a month ago. So long story short, what I ended up doing to avoid having to drive out into the snow, I went and pre-ordered the game at another GameStop that's actually pretty close by to the one in the shopping mall. And that's the one that I went to the midnight release for, got the game, didn't have to drive out in the snow, whatever. Okay. So, with that all out of the way, it's been, I mean, seemingly over a month, because that message that you just heard on the phone, I had first heard that message about the store having technical difficulties with their phone. Heard that a month ago, then heard it again a couple days ago. So I tried calling the store repeatedly the next day just to see like if this wasn't a fluke. Every single time I call, that message. So it's like, is their phone off the hook? Is it disconnected? Like, what's going on? So I end up calling GameStop customer support to let them know. I mean, I guess I was filing a complaint. I guess I was that guy, but, you know, I wasn't like super bothered by it, but I mean, it was a little frustrating not being able to, you know, just get a hold of them on the phone and talk to somebody on the phone. But, you know, I wasn't like mad about it or like super pissed or, you know, that much about it. So, but I called their customer support just because at this point I wanted to know what was going on. So I call them and say, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of this store. And it seems like their phone's off the hook or whatever. So I get told by the guy, oh, well, you know, if there's just one employee working, you know, they'll usually do that with the phone, you know, when they got to go on break or whatever, or if they're really busy. And I was like, well, to stop you right there, this has been an issue for like over a month. And, you know, the guy that I was talking to on the phone was like, oh, really? So long story short, with this conversation, it allegedly got escalated to the district manager that this store has, that the district manager oversees this particular store. Allegedly got escalated to that person. Out of curiosity, the next day, and I realized that, you know, it probably wasn't going to get fixed overnight, but the next day I tried calling again. Same exact thing. And I actually had to call in to the customer support to cancel my pre-order for the store that I can't get a hold of, because I had already pre-ordered the PS5 regular edition there and ended up, you know, doing it at another store so I could get it at midnight. So I wanted to call and cancel this other pre-order to get my money back, because I don't need 2 copies of it on PS5. So I went ahead and did that, and then, you know, just out of curiosity, I, you know, asked them again. I was like, hey, you know, this particular store that's usually my go-to store, you know, their phone's been off the hook, you know, for a while, and I actually had called in, you know, the day prior and, you know, made the person that I spoke to aware about this, but, you know, is there any way that we can, like, you know, get in contact with like the employee that's working there today or whatever, you know, if they've got like their, you know, personal cell phone number on file, like, could you call them and maybe ask them like what the deal is with the phone? So long story short, the person that I talked to that day called the district manager directly for me. And I mean, I didn't ask him to do any of that. I didn't ask him to find the district manager's number and call the district manager, but he did, because he seemingly really wanted to help me out and, you know, find out what was going on. So he calls the district manager directly, and all the district manager says was, in his words, the district manager said, oh yeah, I've been trying to fix the issue with that store's phone, and I just haven't been able to do it yet. So, I mean, I don't know how difficult it is to like get a landline phone connected. I mean, I've hooked up landline phones myself in the past. They're not hard to set up. So, I'm not quite sure, what the circumstances are. Like, is do they need a new like connection running into the store? Do they just need a new phone? Do they, were they not paying the phone bill? Like, I don't know what the deal was, but it seems like it would be something that would be pretty easy to fix. And, at least for me, as far as I know, the store's phone has been disconnected for over a month. So, getting that knowledge, hearing that guy say, oh, the district manager said, yeah, they're aware of it and they're trying to fix it. It's more or less what he told me. I don't see how it's so difficult to get something like that fixed, but I digress. So, on to my idea for this video series to kind of mimic Mordecai and Elden Ring news, because, he's been doing videos, for like 600 days. Just did his last video yesterday, because yesterday was the launch of Elden Ring, so he's kind of, he's calling it quits on the daily update videos. But I thought it'd be kind of funny, I guess as a joke, to do something similar. So what I want to do is I want to do a video and call this GameStop store every day on a daily basis to see if I can get through to their store, to see if their phone is fixed. And my plan is to upload a video every single day, probably starting tomorrow, because right now it's like on the Eastern time zone, it's like 9 o'clock. So, a regular GameStop store would be closed at this point anyways. So we'll probably start it up tomorrow, Sunday. It'll be Sunday, February 27th. And we'll make a video every day. And, just for fun, just to see how long it takes for this store to fix their phone, to fix it. So yeah, I thought that'd be a pretty funny idea. I guess, to mimic or copy or whatever you want to call it, Elden Ring news. I mean, people have done stuff like this in the past before, right? Where, I think there was like a guy that ate like a photograph of a certain person like every day until that person like acknowledged they were doing it, or things of that nature. So I thought it'd be kind of funny to do that. So that's what I'm doing this video for, is to kind of announce the beginning of this video series, where I will call this local GameStop store on a daily basis just to see if they've fixed their phone. So yeah, we're gonna start it tomorrow. We'll get up, probably around the time, or maybe a little bit after the store opens, and we'll give them a call and see what happens. See if the phone's been fixed. So that's my idea. We're gonna start it tomorrow. I hope you tune in. I think it'll be kind of funny. Maybe I'll try to mimic Mordecai and Elden Ring news a little bit with the way I kind of narrate it. Who knows? I mean, I don't want to be a carbon copy of what he did, but what he did to immortalize Elden Ring. He said it himself. He started it off as a joke, and it just became a thing. So I mean, I don't expect these to get big or to go viral. It's just calling a GameStop store on a daily basis to see how many days it takes to fix their phone. But, I thought it would just be a funny little thing to do. So tune in tomorrow. We'll start the daily "Is my local GameStop store's phone fixed" update. So we'll see you tomorrow.